The most dangerous portion of it actually very close to Clear Lake right now. So this tornado warning does not include Mason City. You can see the polygon right there. This rotation tightening up, especially in the Clear Lake area. So you need to be taking shelter in Clear Lake right now. This storm is making its way down to the southeast. The most dangerous portion is right on top of Clear Lake and I-35 and moving down to the southeast. So just going back to the radar picture to show you what's happening on this storm. It's not a very big one here, but there has been some rotation. Now, about an hour and a half ago, there was a funnel that was reported over Wright County. So there has been some rotation within a few of these thunderstorms. But at this time, the storm that is right on top of I-35 continues to drift down to the southeast, and that warning is in effect now until 6:30. So looking at the velocity picture, where we have the reds and the greens coming together, that is the portion where there's been some rotation picked up on radar, and at this time we have not had any reports of an actual tornado on the ground, but radar indicating that there is the possibility of one being there. So again, in Clear Lake and points just to the south, we need to be taking this one pretty seriously. This is really the only strong cell that we have across the area at this time. That cell that does have the tornado warning that is on top of Cerro Gordo County. Note the polygon here and note where you are located. So in Clear Lake, you need to be taking shelter right now. Clear Lake, Ventura area, and then also the Mason City area. You're on the eastern side of this storm, but the polygon does include Highway 18 stretching off just off to the south of Mason City, just a few miles. So Highway 18 between Clear Lake and Mason City, that's where the most dangerous portion of that storm is located. And this storm has been just slowly moving. It made its way from around from Worth County and Winnebago County, drifting down to the southeast, and as it has done so, it's encountered a more unstable atmosphere. So there has been a little bit more sunshine in that location. In parts of North Iowa, we're still shrouded in clouds in parts of southeast Minnesota, and that storm has really reared up. So looking at it right now, as you can see the motion of it now, it's in the Clear Lake area. It is dodging to the south of Mason City, and I'm going to step aside here in just a little bit to go back to the radar picture and also get any of the latest updates that have come out of the Des Moines National Weather Service office. Again, tornado warning in effect for Cerro Gordo County until 6:30 p.m. here for us. The storm now just drifting down to the south of Clear Lake, and that is where rotation is being picked up by the radar picture at this time. And getting the very latest on it, it is now just south of Highway 18. South of Clear Lake, this is the spot right there that is of most concern. So Highway 18 coming off of I-35, that's where rotation is being picked up. So just FYI to Bob in the booth, I'm going to be stepping back. I'm going to go over to the desk, so let's get camera 4 ready here in just a moment. And I'm going to head over there for a short while just to gather any additional information that we might have from the National Weather Service to see how things are shaping up with that particular cell. And as of late, the only report that we got from them was that rotation was tightening up in that location, and this is what we're keeping a very close eye on. So what we're looking at right here near Clear Lake and just down to the south. So that portion of the storm looks to be the most dangerous at this time, and right along I-35 and Highway 18. So that storm, not a real big one. We're not looking at a massive tornado outbreak by any stretch tonight, but there has been some rotation picked up. You see where the greens and the reds are coming together right there? And that is of most concern here for us. So no fresh updates coming from the National Weather Service, but just note we're going to keep that warning on your screen here until this warning has expired. May take just a little bit of a break from coverage, I think, possibly if we have any additional information, but just FYI to everyone in the newsroom, if there's any info that we can gather maybe coming out of Cerro Gordo County, and we're going to get on top of that as soon as we can. But this tornado warning continues. I'm zooming in just a little bit tighter here. Let's go back to the radar picture to show you what's going on. Tornado warning continues until 6:30 for Cerro Gordo County. Now, I'm going to put a loop on this, keep an eye on it, and just see how this is moving. This storm continues to move down to the southeast, and it will be probably staying the most dangerous portion of it right along I-35. So if you are watching, this is not in Mason City right now. The rotation that's being picked up is right on top of I-35. So looking at that loop, you can see it as it continues to drift down to the south and southeast. And I'm going to put a stop on that right now just to get the very latest on it. I'm back here just keeping an eye on any reports that we might have coming in from whether it's the National Weather Service or, yeah, this warning came out at about 5:56 p.m. For Cerro Gordo County. And zooming out a little bit farther, it's really the only game in town. We've had a couple of showers just start to pop up in parts of Freeborn County, and let's see, showers also into parts of Mower County, but just this one lonely storm that now has a tornado warning on it. Cities included are Clear Lake. We're just seeing if we have an update here from, let's see, Cerro Gordo Sheriff's Office at Clear Lake Police are saying to seek shelter, as they should. Yeah, you should be taking shelter if you are anywhere in the vicinity of this tornado warning right now. So I'm going to pop up back on the green screen, Bob, in just a little bit. I'm going to venture over there just to give you a good idea of what we're looking at here with this storm that has very limited information on it right now, other than it's a radar indicated. The radar is picking up that rotation on the storm. It's going to be on the west side, maybe just to the west of I-35, but right in this area right there. There's Highway 18 and the storm drifting down to the southeast. Tornado warning in effect until 6:30 p.m. And on the velocity scope right now, as we look at that, and I might have to move that just a little bit to make sure we're getting, now that does look like it's coming out of Des Moines, but right there at Highway 18, that southern branch of 18 as it's jogging south of Mason City, that is where the rotation is within this particular storm. So it's a dangerous situation right now in Cerro Gordo County. It has, on the very latest scan, drifted a little bit farther to the south. I'm not giving you the all clear necessarily in Clear Lake, but it does look like you are out of the most dangerous portion of the storm, as it has now drifted just a little bit down to the south. That tornado warning continuing for us until 6:30, and this is going to continue to make its way down to the southeast. Just a heads up, in Rockwell, the next community for this storm, as it's making its way down to the southeast, it's still a ways away, 20 to 30 minutes. I doubt it's going to hold together as much. It has not been the trend that we have seen with storms over the course of today, but the storm is continuing to make its way down to the southeast. All right, looking at the bigger picture here with these storms in motion, while we do have this one overly dramatic storm right now and that tornado warning in Cerro Gordo County, the additional development that we're looking at tonight is way out into parts of western Iowa and eastern Nebraska, and that'll be coming in. It won't be quite as potent here later tonight. It is likely to be severe in western Iowa, but like the storms that we had late last night, very early this morning come in, they did have a weakening trend as they moved from west to east across the area. This storm now that has the tornado warning on it, showing signs of a storm that is rotating. Look at how it was moving here initially. It was spinning through Winnebago County, or at least it formed in Winnebago County, and as soon as it started to rotate, they're just off to the northwest of Clear Lake, it took a little bit of a right turn, and that's something that's very typical to see with storms that will produce a tornado. Looking at the very latest on the velocity, we're not seeing anything that has changed drastically, but that tornado warning does continue until 6:30 p.m. And now that most dangerous portion with the rotation is located south of Highway 18, right along I-35. And a step back to the weather desk here to get a look at what we've got coming in. I just want to make sure that we are staying in touch with our friends at the National Weather Service, and this one has kind of come out of the blue. We've had a day where people have had some just run-of-the-mill thunderstorms coming through, and then this one has popped up quite a bit. We're looking at the path making its way down to the south and east. So I'm going to put a track on this here shortly, marking the more dangerous portion of the storm as it continues to move to the southeast. Swaledale headed your way by around 6:25. This is the very latest on the track from that portion of the storm that is showing signs of rotation. So coming into the Swaledale area about 6:25. But if I put a fan on it here too, I'm just going to zoom in or just take a larger view across this where there could be some rotation within it, and then take a bigger track. And at Rockwell area, you're looking about the same time. So Swaledale, Rockwell, you're at about 6:24, 6:25 as it continues to move down to the southeast. This tornado warning is in effect now for the next 17 minutes. I'm going to double check with any reports that we might have. We don't have any new updates from our friends at the Des Moines National Weather Service office, other than that is a radar indicated tornado. So I'm going to take this down just a little bit farther down to the south and outline the area that is of most concern. You see the greens and the reds that have come together right there on the western side of that storm. And the rotation, as it does tighten up, it's hard to get a very, very clear view from the radar that is quite a long ways away. The Des Moines National Weather Service radar is a long way down to the south from this particular storm. And on the satellite and radar, or let's see, I'm taking just a wider view here and then put this in motion here for you. We'll take a look at how this storm is moving, making its way out of the Forest City area, then moving down to the southeast and showing signs of rotation while we're at it. Now, a heads up to the booth, anyone in production who might be able to pull up some Iowa DOT cameras, if anyone's able to get that into the scan converter, we might be able to take a look. This is in an area on I-35 where we may be able to see that. Look for that Clear Lake traffic camera, and we may be able to get a view on that. So I don't want to take us off of the radar picture and get that on my system right now, but we are watching this storm making its way down to the southeast, and right now that's the portion of the storm that is of most concern. And looking over about the next 11-mile track of it, we are still in about the 6:25 time frame, so it's about 10 minutes from you in Swaledale. Tornado warning continues for us in Cerro Gordo County until 6:30 p.m. and hopefully we'll be able to get a few views out there soon enough just to take a look at the Iowa DOT just to see what's going on from that view in North Iowa. But Des Moines National Weather Service, we are not getting any reports that are coming in to them at this time, but we are going to, just out of necessity and for safety, we are going to stay with this warning while we have it. Looking at that cell now, as it gets a little bit farther down to the southeast, it's still the most dangerous portion is right on top of I-35, right there. That's that area that I've circled. So if you're in that area, the north of Swaledale, southwest of Mason City, this storm lately has tightened up a little bit with it about the last 15 to 20 minutes. So what I mean by that is it has showed an increase in rotation. It is moving down to the southeast. It's starting to get almost toward the end of its outside of the polygon is what I'm trying to say. And by the way, guys, even if we're not seeing much on the DOT cameras, there maybe it's something that we could take a look at here in just a little bit. But I'm popping back in front of camera 5, and I'll just talk a little bit about this portion of the storm. So this is where the rotation is occurring right there, right on top of I-35, and that's moving down to the southeast. So a heads up to those of you in the Swaledale area. This is a radar indicated tornado that we have right now. Looking at the radar velocity, it's a little bit messy, getting even messier at this time. That tornado warning is in effect until 6:30. It is now almost entirely south of Highway 18, making its way along I-35. This western side of it is where the rotation was showing up the strongest on the radar picture, and that warning is in effect until 6:30 p.m. here for us. Now I'm going to put it all, they could look at the bigger picture once again. I don't want to just stick with that one view as we're not getting any fresh information, but this is the only storm in the area. So just an FYI, I know that you might be frustrated in Austin, Albert Lee, and in Rochester because we're spending a lot of time, or in Charles City even, on this one lonely cell, but this one is tornadic. We have a tornado warning on that storm until 6:30 p.m. So I'm going to go back to that right now. Do we have any? Okay, all right, we have an Iowa DOT camera south of Clear Lake. Now, all right, so it's just on the road. There's a lot of rainfall right now. Traffic moving along, as we can see right there. And the view, unfortunately, is only at the ground at this time. But this is what was just came through. The storm had already just came through, and it is now south of there. So it's down closer to the Swaledale area at this time, making its way down to the south. I am going to pop back over here to the desk. We can bring that bring camera 4 back up soon enough. I just need to make sure we can move this and zoom in a little bit farther down to the south. This storm wasn't much not too long ago, and I'm just double checking to see rotation is broader and weaker compared to when the tornado warning was issued, so we'd still have some broad rotation on it. Taking a look at our chat here to see what we have. All right, so this storm has shown some signs of weakening. You can almost see that in the radar picture right there. Jumping over to the velocity scope on it too. The portion that still is showing possible rotation is, I'm going to zoom in tighter so that we can get Swaledale in the shot here. See if we can, yeah, there we are. Yeah, heads up in Swaledale or anywhere around here. Just to the northwest of Rockwell, the southwest of Mason City. All right, you guys can pop that up too. Let's just see, we've got just so much heavy rain. It's flooded baseball field in Clear Lake from that storm we just, it rolled on through. So this is a heavy rain producer. It's got some lowered bases with it. It has been rotating, and just doing our best to see if there's any additional information. But you know, this is it right there, that portion of the storm that I've highlighted right there where the rotation is showing up, the red and the green right next to each other, as that storm is still rotating as it continues to move to the southeast. We have not had, as far as I can tell, we have not had any reports coming into the National Weather Service. I'm going to pop up a few more sources here and see what else is showing up, and also go back to the radar picture and make sure I can adjust that map here for you. But tornado warning continues for the next 11 minutes in Cerro Gordo County. Mason City, you are not in this tornado warning. Just as an FYI, they have not updated the polygon for this, but they may soon. Swaledale, you're in the area of concern. Areas that are just, pull up the ruler here, but anywhere that is from Swaledale about 5 miles to the north. If you are within 5 miles of Swaledale, that location right there, this is the spot right along I-35, and we are watching this storm continue to track down to the south and east a little bit, more of south than southeast. So looking at that area where the rotation is strongest, it is into the Swaledale area by 6:29. All right, and I'm just going to check the see if we have any photos that are coming in. I'm not seeing anything there. Double checking our, so they're going to continue the tornado warning until 6:30 p.m. And unless something dramatically changes, we're told they don't anticipate another warning from this storm at this time. But I just want to make sure that those of you in the Swaledale area know that this storm is capable of producing a tornado. It has a history of rotating. And I'm going to even pull up the velocity picture here just to look at it, and it still has that possibility of a tornado. And Swaledale just off to the north, so getting close to around Lark Avenue and just to the west of Lark Avenue. So you see Lark Avenue right there, Lark Avenue, and the area of rotation with this storm that is just off to the west of it. So that is the portion of the storm where it is still showing signs of rotation. And unfortunately, there's just no additional ground truth with what we've got with this tornado warning. Looking from the bird's eye view, it is a rotating thunderstorm as it continues to move to the south-southeast. And that tornado warning, they have cleaned that up a little bit. The polygon's a little bit smaller. It's in a relatively small space here. So that does not include Swaledale, but just an FYI, if you are just 1 mile north of the community of Swaledale, heads up that this is moving your direction. This tornado warning in effect until 6:30, keeping an eye on the chat for any updates that we might get from the National Weather Service. But right now that storm has weakened a bit. At least still showing some signs of rotation, but just not as much as it was before until, yeah, now that area that's just still just to the west of Lark Avenue, highlighting that one more time. That is where we have signs of rotation still, where the reds and greens are right on top of each other. And just waiting to see if we have any ground truth from storm spotters in the area. We almost always have a group of Skywarn spotters that are out keeping an eye on storms to see what they're looking like, to get any sort of ground truth on what's going on with that. And yes, I understand that at this point the warning is getting a little repetitive, but just want to keep everybody in the know as this cell continues to drift down to the south, as this tornado warning is still in effect until 6:30 p.m. It is in a much smaller area right now, but you can see the spin on that storm as it was moving its way down to the south. And now the most dangerous portion of it does appear to be just to the east of I-35. A lot of open space here, but a lot of farms right there in this area to the north of Swaledale, right along I-35. And on the velocity picture right now, it is still showing the sign of weak rotation there. We have some video from Meservey. All right, yeah, lowered base right there. That's impressive. Certainly prompting that. So that's looking like, see that edge? I'm going to step in. Are you guys able to allow me to step in front of the video? If we can keep that looping. All right, just they're going to give me a second on that, but that's the lowered base that we're talking about, showing signs of being a wall cloud. Now, it's not technically a wall cloud until you see rotation there, but the radar is telling us that there is rotation on that. So there's just on the left side of your screen, you see there's a little bit of a tail to that video, and that's where the rotation has been located. That was earlier, so I'm stepping back in front. Right there. That is the classic sign, and my goodness, it's amazing to see how low that is to the ground. That's not too common, but that is a wall cloud potentially. That's certainly the lowering from that cloud, and this is where the rotation is within that storm. So the rotation as it goes up, you've got that rain-free base, and as the rotation does tighten up, you've got that air flowing in and then up, and that's what gives it an angle there on that wall cloud. So impressive view from that storm. That was just a little bit ago. But again, the area that we're concerned about is just to the north of Swaledale, to the northwest of Rockwell. It's not, just to point out when we talk about these tornado warnings, it's not this mass where we see the higher reflectivity that is of most concern. This is where the heavier rain is coming down. The area that is always of the most concern with this tornado warning, and you see the polygon right there, it's centered right about there. Off to the west, where you've got that air flowing into the storm and then it moving upwards. So right there is where the rotation has been occurring with that storm. The signs have been there for the possibility of a tornado. That's just to the north of Swaledale, to the west of Rockwell. So you're going to get that storm in the Rockwell area. It is headed your direction. There's going to be some heavy rain. Now, it is so warm through the atmosphere, even as you go up thousands of feet, that while there may be hail, the hail's not going to be terribly large. We're not looking at the potential. It could be around dime to nickel size. At worst, it's going to be quarter size, but more than likely, it's going to be closer to around dime, penny size hail at the worst. But we're not seeing a real strong core with it, but it has been rotating. So that is a tornado warning that is in effect for the next 5 minutes. Just to the east of I-35, that portion of the storm right there, right in between Highway 65 and I-35. South of Highway 18, the green and the red together right there as it's approaching the end of its polygon right there. When I talk about the polygon, that's the shape that they make the tornado warning in. And on the radar picture, it's starting to just get down to the southeastern side of that. So if you live between Highway 65 and I-35, to the west of Rockwell, to the north of Swaledale, to the northeast of Thornton, this is the portion of the storm that is most dangerous at this time, with that tornado warning in effect for the next 4 minutes. All right, I'm going to zip back to the desk. We can go to camera 4 in just a little bit here, but we're going to start to look at the radar picture in motion here, and I also just want to make sure that I'm in the loop with everything that we're hearing from the National Weather Service, and take a look at that. So the tornado warning is in effect until 6:30. There are 0 updates from the National Weather Service in Des Moines, which handles this area, so we're not getting, that's not a slam on them. Just FYI, it's just that no new information is coming in to them, and it looks like they're likely to let this tornado warning expire in just a little bit. More than likely, there's also some, you see that patch of red right here? There could be some good downburst winds with this as well. It's a possibility that we could have some real gusty winds within that particular storm, but that tornado warning is in effect for just the next few more minutes, and we'll see if this thing does tighten up a bit. We're more than likely going to be on the air a little bit longer, but we are hoping for a little bit more information at this time. And guys, just hop in my ear if we do have any additional photos or anything else that we're going to be able to show here. We are nearing the end of this tornado warning at this time, and looking at where the more dangerous portion of the storm is located. I'm going to put a track on that right now for about the next 8 miles, and it is dodging just to the east of Swaledale by the looks of things, but right now in Swaledale, you are near the track of where this storm is headed right now. And I'm going to put it in motion as well. I'm going to take that track off. Not a lot of communities right now in the track of the storm, but looking at the loop over just the last few hours, the storm took that right turn, showing signs of rotation, and it looks like it's taking a little bit lesser of a turn. So I'm going to take a look too at this photo. There's, we're getting a lot of photos to a few that we're looking at. One from Clear Lake that was about 10 minutes ago, could see that cloud lowering. If we can actually pop that up to take a look at it, it looks like there might be a windshield wiper in the way of the actual base of that storm. But we are getting rotation out of this storm, hence the tornado warning in effect until 6:30 p.m. And the velocity, oh, by the way, I'm going to go back to this in just the latest, the core of that has perked up just a little bit. Some of these storms are going to pulse a little bit, but we, looking at this portion that I've highlighted right there, the core is strengthened just a little bit, so that could be beginning to produce possibly a little bit more as far as any hail goes. I am also taking a peek here at our discussion with the National Weather Service in Des Moines, and it looks like they are probably going to let this slide. So we've got 1 more minute on that warning. And if we have any additions to that warning that happen to come up at any time over the course of this evening, guys, I'm popping back to camera 5 in front of the wall just to take a look at the storm again. Okay, here we are. We got 1 minute left in the tornado warning. If the tornado danger remains present, there will be an addition to this tornado warning. The most dangerous portion is just off to the east of I-35, almost directly to the west of Rockwell on Highway 65. So at this time, they have let the tornado warning expire, but still, heads up for all of you in this area, from Rockwell to Swaledale to I-35 directly west of Rockwell. Keep a very close eye on the storm. Probably be a good idea just to stay in your basement for now. This storm has a history of producing lowerings, of some funnels, and it's getting into a more ripe environment as it continues to move down to the south-southeast. Thanks for bearing with us, everybody. We're going to go back to Maisie Olson at the desk. Just an FYI, the tornado warning has expired. It has been let to expire as of 6:30. If we do get an additional tornado warning on it, if the storm strengthens, we'll be right back on air with more information on this storm. Maisie?
All right, thank you, Randy. And for those of you that are living in Clear Lake that wanted to hit Thursdays on Main tonight, we did just hear that they did just get some slight rain at Thursdays on Main, but some vendors packed up. The band, though, is coming back to get set up for the 7 p.m. show. So Thursdays on Main is still going on as planned. But like Randy said, if anything changes, we will be the first to let you know. We'll be right back after a quick break.